we've done it. Not only have we finished books, but now we finished a series. That's right. So, as usual, it's time to wrap things up with Cosmere Chronicles, the podcast where we follow two first-time readers, Sheta and Justin, and chronicle their journey through Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series. On today's episode, we'll be wrapping up Mistborn, the Hero of Ages, the overall Mistborn trilogy. So now, let's throw it over to the host of Cosmere Chronicles. This is Joe! Thank you, Joe. Yep, we are here for the wrap-up episode here on Cosmere Chronicles. I'm Joe, and once again, I'm joined by Justin und Sheta.
Oh!
Guten Tag.
Hola!
Like I said, this is the wrap-up episode. Alright, but before we get into the wrap-up episode, first we need to go over last week's chapters. And it's Justin's turn to give his review, or his
I have to go over last week's chapters? The book ended. There's my recap.
We've done it in the past.
The Koloss attacked. Everyone was getting fucked up. Vin transcended to godhood. She fought a cloud, but she couldn't beat it because they were equally matched. Everyone started dying. Everything was horrible. They got Orseer out, Tensoon, whichever. They convinced the Khandra to do their thing where they pull shit out. They sucked up all the atium. Atium? Atium. That sounded weird. Which pissed off Ruin because he wanted it. Ellen got killed. Vin said fuck it and went all in because only a human would be able to be Ruin and preservation. Killed Ruin, killed herself. Everything was miserable and sad. And then, how'd I lose the name? Sazed found some stuff and ascended to godhood and fixed the world, and everyone who was still alive lived happily for now, even though they're going to be hard. The end. That's my recap.
Alright, that's good. You get one free reroll tonight.
Sweet.
Alright, so today we'll be doing, like I said, our wrap up of this. So first we will be mostly talking about our thoughts on the Hero of Ages, and then we'll go more into thoughts about the whole Mistborn trilogy, since we finished all three books of the trilogy. It took us about 10, 11 months, somewhere around there, to go through all these. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned last week. Last week was our 50th episode.
Yay! Woo!
A belated
Wow.
happy 50th episode to us. Technically, you could say 52 because of the two bonus episodes, but those don't really count.
Bonus episodes don't count. We're not doing that BS. What counts as like the 1000th issue of some comic that they've relaunched 10 times.
Yeah, so like I said, we're doing the wrap-up. So first, I'll ask you your overall thoughts of Hero of Ages.
Overall thoughts are pretty positive. It was, I think, followed the themes of the first one fine, wrapped everything up in a way that didn't make me go, what the hell was this? Why'd we take this left turn? Everything made sense to me. Anything more, I'd need more specific questions. I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I think I agree. They it did continue with the themes. I did like that. Some things I didn't like that much, but every book in the trilogy has been quite different from the one before, so I like that. Yeah, just same as you.
As for me, I liked it. Or my thoughts when I first went into it is I thought it wrapped up the story very well. Throughout it, it's the ending I did not see coming. And yeah, it just felt epic the entire time, hopeless the entire time, but at the end, everything still turned out, even though it was bleak. Which, I always like that in a story. I like where it gets bad, it looks like it's going to go bad, but then at the last moment, it all just turns around and it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then, any criticisms you have for Hero of Ages?
Criticisms. My only real criticism I can think of is that I would have liked to see more time showing how bad the world was getting. Because, like, the part with Marsh and that volcano went off and destroyed that town was very horrifying. And that part where I'm I cannot believe it. I've already forgotten his name again. Was going through the ash to deliver the letter, Gorodel, was that it? I got it. Gorodel. That just felt so apocalyptic and hopeless, especially that part, And even though we get to see those, and I think they're really cool, I would have liked to see a little more of that to the degree we saw it there with our main characters. Because for the most part, I know they got powers, they're jumping around and stuff, but like we didn't really get, in my opinion, didn't really get that encroaching apocalypse sense from our main characters. We got it with like society breaking down around them, like with Yeoman, with the Citizen, which I liked, but the literal like Earth and everything working against them. I think a way you could have done that is had more point of view parts from some of the like less powered characters, like maybe some people, random people in the army, get a better sense of what they're thinking. Just that encroaching hopelessness. I don't even know if I'd call that a criticism, but that's something that I think was not done to the degree that I think the author expected that it would be done to.
I feel that way too. Like he was struggling a lot at the end with the characters, and the focus a lot was with Vin and the plan about what to do and stuff. But I think it would have been felt more like dire and immediate if we did see a bit more of that too.
And like in the second book, you get that feeling in the city with the armies out there. You feel like it could end at any second, You really get that feeling, I think. And that's because you follow a lot of random people who just they could die in here. And I think that the reason to do that would be that then the sacrifice at the end would have felt, because it was necessary, but it would have felt more necessary to me while I was reading, because I would have been like, sure, you've got all the Kolost killing everyone, that's all hopeless, but the world is literally about to explode, like any second, Like, yeah, that's all I got, though. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints. That'd be about all I can think of. Just to kind of hammer it in more. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Felt that, too, with the climax of the book. I felt like I wanted a bit more punch. I don't know if that makes sense. But I think if we would have seen it, like, actually, it would have been more, I don't know, more big like I wanted.
Well, we get a little bit of that with them talking about how hot it's getting, I would have liked to see more of it. I would have liked to see just how hot it was getting, Like, watch some people boil alive outside and stuff like that. It would have been really interesting.
Yeah, and I think there was like one time when Vin was talking about how a lot of the land was like broken open and just like lava coming up.
Yep.
Like
I would have liked to see more of that too, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we see it from her perspective pretty good. I'd like to see it from like just the common man's perspective, because Ellen's not really thinking about this stuff. He's so focused on other things. Maybe somebody like, I don't know. We get it a little bit with Orsir too, when he starts giving up hope that he can't make it. Just a little more of that.
You mean Tensoon?
Oh, Tensoon, sorry. So that's mine. What do you got, Sheta?
Yeah. My criticisms are a little bit more, I guess it is in this book, so I'll say, I'll ask first, is that part where they go to the one guy's house, like the Tolkien guy's house in this book?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yep,
I just felt like that was a really random chapter part. Like, if you didn't know the meta thing, I'd be like, what's with that guy? How come he never came back? I thought he was gonna come.
I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, I felt like that would be been better in like a short story or something like that, because it was like almost like a deleted scene. It felt like so.
Shit. I think the point. Yeah, but come back, right?
Yeah, like actually.
Like be a huge character. I think the point of that scene was to humanize the nobles a bit, right? But they already did that with Yeoman a little bit later, right? Do you agree, Shita?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because Yeoman, you don't think of that humanized, but by the end of the book, you're like, oh, these guys aren't so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, we get that, and we get Ellen's old friend, who are all kind of like...
that guy seemed like an asshole.
But he wasn't, like, evil,
I don't know.
He
always cared about the ska more. Yeah.
Hey, at least that guy did not raise an army of Koloss to attack Luthadel.
You know
So he's
that
already
is
doing
true.
better than
That's not
he's already
Ellen's
doing better
worst
than
friend.
some of. Yeah.
That is very true. I cannot argue with that.
This guy might be best man at his wedding if he would have lived.
Yeah.
I have a criticism on the overall book, but I guess I can put that here too, so sorry, I'll just say it. Like, no, you know what? Sorry. I'm just gonna say it on the overall book, because it's, yeah.
All right.
On the series, you mean, Sheta?
Yeah, the
Okay.
trilogy, yeah.
All right, and then for me, criticisms. My biggest criticisms would be like just some characters being underutilized. Like Justin brought it up a couple times while we were going throughout this book, and even a little bit of last book with Ham, because he pretty much was just kind of there. This book would say like one or two things each chapter, and then his entire role was just at the very end to make a decision. Where then Ellen's just like, you know what? Yeah, this is wrong.
So that's exactly my criticism I was gonna say too.
Same thing goes with like Rianne over at Breeze. Like she's just kind of standing there. Like she doesn't really like. She has a couple sentences like here and there. She shows some emotions with wanting to like get the whole crowd to go against Quellion, but she didn't really do anything. And those are two characters from the past who I felt like could have at least had a role in this book, but just didn't really do anything.
Yes, okay. I'm just gonna say it then, because you're saying exactly what I want, but I just want to go emphasize on it that I just have a problem with characters that are introduced and I love them and they're not used enough and they linger in the back of my mind in my care without being used and it really bothers me. So I have Ham, Breeze, even Marsh, Zane, Reese, Ariane,
Well,
and
Zane
even
got used, Sheta.
yeah, but like okay, maybe that's just personal. But then Spook even. So in this book, he got some time like I thought he deserved, but it was in a strange way. Like he was pushed into the spotlight to do one thing, like a pretty big piece of the plot. And then he just gets pushed back into the background and doesn't even appear for the climax at all. And I just, well, he got burned and stuff, but I was all like, well, then why didn't he get brought up just to get brought back? Like after 2 books already, he finally gets a spot. And so I guess I like things that feel either like an ensemble or a deep character study or couple study. I don't like this back and forth where I'm not sure Spook is a real character. It makes me feel uneasy. I don't know why. Like Rianne too. I thought her and Breeze's relationship would get more time and more stuff with it because it was a pretty big part in the second book, but it never really grew any more than it did in the second book. So like stuff like that always bothers me and makes me like anxious because I want to know more and I don't get anything. And I wanted to compare
You
it
say,
to huh? I'll go ahead.
oh, you say uneasy. What do you mean by that?
Uneasy, like
That's a weird word to use.
I'm anxious, like, okay, I'm waiting for Breeze and Oriana's relationship to have something more with it, and it's never touched upon, like, in a way that makes me feel satisfied or like it's addressed, you know? It's not
Mhm.
addressed at all, and
Sure.
it
I think I get what
bothers
you're
me.
saying.
Yeah. Especially if they're just standing over there and I'm like, yeah, they're over there. My other characters that I was introduced to and I care about, like, and then just Ellen and Yeoman are talking. I was like, well, where's where's the rest of them? Like, where, like in a show or something, I would have felt like they were missing, in a show or a movie or something like that. I'm like, why were these characters if they're not gonna be part of the movie, Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Because I like to pick up on all the details. So if I'm gonna have my time wasted on something, I'm gonna feel like I've invested it into something instead of nothing. Like, anyway, yeah, that's just something. Oh, I just had a comparison to in Game of Thrones. Whenever a character gets a chapter, I feel like, okay, this character is now a main character. They got a promotion. They're not gonna go back into the background really, unless it's a prologue or something. And like, I guess I like rules, and it makes me feel more secure while I'm reading something, knowing that they will get that it all makes sense and it's all going somewhere.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Sorry, that was a
It all
lot.
makes sense.
One other criticism I did have is, I did not think that the Spook Beldre romance was. I was not a big fan of how that was written.
She's a simple girl. You save her and her brother, she's gonna be with you. Nice and simple. That's how I see it.
felt like it was just kind of creepy. All right, he watches her, talks to her. She's in love with him.
She's not in love with him for that.
You forget that he. Oh yeah, sorry. No criticism on your criticism.
You can criticize a criticism, Sheta. That's allowed.
Oh, I agree. I think it's weird, but I'm into the weird thing, like, and sometimes dorks find each other and they fall in love. So
Yeah, I think of Beldre as a very, very, very simple girl.
Yeah, some parts, like her stuff with her background and some of like the stuff with her talking with Spook and stuff, I felt was pretty good. But just the whole, like, the first half of the relationship before she was in the cave was just kind of weird. Just, all right, watching her, kind of being creepy. And it's like, oh man, she's so beautiful and stuff. And then he's talking to her like, I'm going to kill your brother and stuff. She's like, who are you? And then, yeah, that stuff was just kind of weird. And then once they're in the cave together and stuff, all that, it's like some pretty good moments there with them actually opening up.
Oh man, that whole relationship is so funny and awkward. But they feel like it's really awkward people, so I think it's funny.
All right, and I guess some of this stuff we did say while we were doing our criticisms, but if you have anything else, like any changes that you'd make to the story, if you didn't already
I have a
say.
change. It's not going to be popular with Sheta.
Oh,
I would have
go for
killed
it.
Spook. I just would have killed Spook when he burned to death.
That's okay. I think
Because
I
He
agree.
sacrificed himself so heroically, It showed the point of that part. A lot of that is to show just how evil Ruin is, what humans do that Ruin can't, And I think that it would have made me actually mad to have Spook die there. I wouldn't have liked it, but I think it would have added to the encroaching feeling of hopelessness and prepared us for characters to die later, And I also think, because at the end, Spook's kind of used as the character to be like, life goes on. But we already had Breeze, Ariane, Ham, and his family for that. And I feel like that gets
And
that
Demu.
across already. Yeah, sure. And Demu, sure.
No,
Well-
mean, like, Demu is our new relationship person. Like he could go on and live too.
Yeah,
You know.
no, Sheta, in my version, Demu is not taking that role. I guess
Oh,
Demu
okay.
could start the Church of the Survivor or something.
Yeah,
Something like that.
he's part of the future.
The part that keeps Spook good being alive, of course, is him sending the message from beyond, But,
Yeah.
I think that... I think it would have been better if he sent the message and then he succumbed to his burns. That's how I would have done it. Because I still think
Ooh.
that was a really, really good part. And I wouldn't want to get rid of that. I just don't think that Spook being alive benefits the feeling of the end of the story, personally. Now, I don't know if I'm writing it, if I would have the heart to kill Spook. I would have fucking hated it when I read it. But that's just a change I personally would have put in that way.
Now, what about the fact that it's stated at the end that he was pretty much healed by God because of Kelsier told him to? Does that
Yeah, well,
change it?
I don't know. The way it was written, the sacrifice Spook made, the great thing he did by not giving in, and the fact that other characters don't get miracles like that we really see that much. I
agree. Yeah.
I don't know. But that's a
yeah,
personal choice. I would have changed that. That is not a complaint. I don't think it hurts the story to do that. I just personally would have done it differently.
Yeah, I think that for me, the Spook getting like powers and then I like it when someone does the right thing and they get punished for it. Like it's harder to do the right thing,
Punished for it, but punished for it in a way where it did actually work out in the end, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shita?
it
Yeah,
was the
like
right choice to do, but you don't get
Mhm.
to get
He played
the
his
powers
part in
and
saving
live.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
he
hard
doesn't
to
have his
make it.
powers anymore.
He
did
does.
lose
He gets to be a
those.
Mistborn.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
Mistborn.
that
Oh
was
yeah, he
kind
does.
of.
Yeah, I forgot.
I don't like
so
that.
here's the
I feel
thing:
like
if we have a sequel
too
starring
much.
Spook, I'd probably change my mind on that. But for now, that's just what I would do differently. So, I'm a
Now-
big sucker for a heroic sacrifice in a hopeless situation.
Now, Sheta, I will say that we do have a case in the book of a person doing the right thing and getting punished for it, because that's pretty much what happens to Elend.
Yeah, Ellen and even Vin in the second book, like they get punished for it. I just think, but they are the main characters, and I think I like it when everyone else doesn't get the same treatment as the main characters. Like,
So the reason to do the right thing is not for a potential reward. Is that what you're saying, Shita?
yeah, it's just like in BioShock when you pick not to save the girls, you get more power, but you also did a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Joe has no idea what you're saying.
Well, like, yeah, you make
I
the
haven't
darker
actually
choice.
played BioShock. I know somewhat of it.
Okay,
I
yeah.
kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like you make the darker, more selfish choice. Like if you steal money, you're gonna get more money, but you did a bad thing, Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you can always do, like, it costs something to be good.
Mm-hmm. And I think that works with Spook. From his point of view, he didn't expect to survive that at all. So you do get that. And that's why it's not a complaint, because everything's fine. It doesn't hurt the story.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
not
no,
as
it's
nice,
fine.
I guess, as Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he actually is quite religious and stuff, so he has a different feeling about those kind of things. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry. One thing about that, I feel like not to be mean, not to say anything mean about it, but when everyone is happy and everyone gets, not everyone, but they get powers and they're all healed and they're better now, it feels like a little kid story to me where it's okay and it's like a fantasy where you get to
Yeah,
live.
but the problem with that is our two main characters are dead.
I know. It came at a great price, but
Yeah.
I just I think it could have been worse, and I would have liked it better.
The only other change I'd do is we already said I'd add more characters with Set and Ham and Breeze and all those characters like that.
Yep.
And maybe like a like R-rated sex scene in the middle of it.
Ew.
No, actually, I'm not opposed to sexuality in stories, but for this story, I'm glad they faded to black anytime that kind of thing happened.
Like, with who?
That would have been
Everyone's
fucking
too
awkward.
busy.
Well, like Elend and Vin after their wedding. I didn't need to see that described vividly. Breeze and Ariane, I don't need to see that. No, thank you.
Well, that's
Just do like a
no,
Planet Terror where it's about to happen and the real melts.
Yeah.
Ruin did it. He doesn't like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I will also say my suggestion was not a serious suggestion. All right. And then what are some of your top or favorite moments from this book?
My favorite moments would be probably Spook resisting the fake Kelsier is probably my favorite moment in the whole book. I really like that part. I didn't expect things to go that way. And then my other favorite part is Vin sacrificing herself to destroy Ruin, realizing the plan that had been laid out. I thought that was a really interesting way to beat it, and I didn't expect they were going to beat Ruin. I thought they were going to make peace of some kind or make another deal or some bullshit like that, but no, fuck Ruin. So I like that.
Well, those are the actual best scenes in the book, because my scenes are Sazed riding Tensoon as a horse.
What?
That was a great part. That was so awesome. I agree, Sheta.
Like, when you said your scenes, I was like, oh, well, mine just seems stupid.
No, that's a cute character moment.
Those are the best actual scenes in probably the entire trilogy. Like, this is mine. Space and Reddington soon as a giant horse pig. And then, I liked learning about the Khandra people, like their weird body shaping powers. I really like that. I like Vin and Ellen's last ball and first dance. I thought that was really fun to go back to. I like Spook becoming a superhero. That's like jumping around like a superhero for real. I like
when
that.
He saves the girl from the burning building, right?
Yep. And him it felt like a superhero origin. I thought it was really fun. One of my favorite scenes is Human's conversation with Vin when he says he should be in a house like that one, and he points to a tent. And Vin's like, "That's not a house, that's a tent." and he just doesn't understand. I thought that was really cute. I love that whole conversation and part. Those are my little scenes that I really like.
All right, like my favorite moments in this book will be, at the end where where he's struggling with himself, then he finally pulls the earring out of Vin's ear.
Another really good scene.
Just
Yours were
telling
good,
him,
shit, though.
That's a really good scene too.
yeah. It's like the whole thing where it's like, no, that's Kelsier's daughter, like his daughter, like his and Mayor's daughter, pretty much, and he just rips it out, and then right afterwards, Vin just going all ape shit and destroying all the Inquisitors in a chapter. That was awesome too. I did like Sazed having, after he finishes reading all the religions, just his breakdown and everything, just being pretty much all lost and nowhere to go, having lost all his faith, and then he pretty much gets like a word from God or a helping thing when he hears Tensoon talking. And yeah, because that's another pretty emotional moment. And my other favorite moment would probably be where Elend, when he decided not to attack Vadrix and realizes, no, this is wrong, and decides that after all book of going between whether he needs to become more ruthless like the Lord Ruler and stuff in order to protect people, at the end just deciding that the ends don't justify the means and that he will not attack and slaughter innocents. I thought that was a great moment for Elend.
That's good, yeah. I like that part too.
All right. And now, which death in the story impacted you the most?
That sounds like the dumbest question ever, because the answer is Vin for me.
Yep, Vin.
Honestly, there weren't as many deaths as I expected. Ellen's, I thought felt good because, it was basically his one goal he got to fulfill, which you can't really complain if you get to fulfill your one goal in life. But I feel like Vin, as much as she didn't really have a lot of purpose, I feel like she could have done a lot after all of this was saved. And also she dies as an immaterial form fighting an immaterial form. I just felt like it was quite sad, personally, and very unexpected.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought she would descend down like a little angel or fairy or something and say, "Hi, Ellen, it's me. I'm now like this,"
I
And then
think
they
you
have
found a way to ruin the end of the book, Sheta.
and have it be like a tragic goodbye or something like that. But
Oh,
I
I
don't know.
hate that kind of ending, you know that?
I've seen that so many times, so I just
I
thought
always
that
think
would
it's
happen.
bullshit. Yeah, it's such a fake because you don't lose them and you don't get to keep them at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you're saying, like, her ending's kind of like the ending of Ghost, where it's all sad, but still kind of happy?
Well, that's
Yeah.
different. He's a ghost, right? That's different. He's dead. It's different when you're dead and you ascend to godhood. I don't know why. It's basically the same, but...
Basically the same?
Well, one's about giving, about mourning and moving on. The other's about, like, you can't move on when you know that your love interest is out there, like, doing some kind of magical god thing. You'll know they're there.
It'd be like at the end of Pirates,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's about one of the only times I accept that kind of ending.
You get to visit 1 year, Ellen and
And
Vin
that's just because it's so dramatic, which matches the movie.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the death that impacted you the most was not Gorodel?
No, because I didn't even know who that was when I was reading it. If I did, it would have. Yeah, I felt bad, but...
I almost picked Gorodel because I thought he came so far just to get killed there.
Yeah, when you reminded me that was Gorodel, I'd put him on the list. I was horrified to learn that, the poor guy.
And I will have to go with Vin too. But when I was reading it, the one that shocked me the most was Ellen, because I did not see that coming. Just reading, all of a sudden he gets the axe in the chest, it's like, how is he going to get back from this? And then Marsh decapitates him, it's just like, ooh. And once that happened, then it's like, alright, I could see a way where now Vin's going to die. And then she dies a page later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vin impacted me the most, but Ellen was probably the most shocking one to me.
Yeah. That was unbelievable when it was happening.
Alright, and then let's just go with your top 3 favorite characters of this book.
Okay, my top 3 of this book are going to be Yeoman, Ruin, and Orseer. Or Tensoon, I'm sorry. Tensoon. Those are the three I found the most compelling and interesting in this book, and I always enjoyed when their parts came up. It took me a while to warm up to Tensoon after he murdered my beloved Orseer, but his mission to try to warn his people and stuff I found very interesting. And then Ruin would not be one of my top favorites until at the end when they showed that he was a person who had gained or bonded with this energy, that's something before. That made, in retrospect, made him a lot more interesting to me. And then I've been glazing Yeoman the whole book, so that just makes sense.
Yeoman?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's fine.
He's fine. He's so interesting.
It's fine, yeah. Fine choice. My top three are Tinsun I've always liked him. I'm really glad that he got more time in this book. I don't really care that he killed Orseer, sorry, because I didn't even know Orseer that much. And the character I loved was Tinsun, and he was just doing his job. Like, he had to do it.
I will make no comment on some of the things you just said. Sheta.
I know. I forgave him long ago for that. I don't hold it against him. I think he's much more interesting. He seems like the coolest main character of all the Khandra, like Sazed said in the book. He's just like Sazed. He's different than his people, and he's special. So I like him. I like Spook for becoming a hero and getting some more stuff and being as good of a person as as our main characters deserve to say they are. And then Ruin is my third character too, for being so like bored. Like he just wants to get his side of the deal for that he's been waiting for all this time. And yeah, I think and having him be a character, like a person, a character, gives him I always like characters who actually live for so long and have experiences and feelings that a regular person would never get. I enjoy it when it's written out and stuff. How they would be. Like a guess at how they would be like.
Alright, then for me, my top three favorites will be... they wound up just being like the three main characters of the book. Just Vin, Sazed, Elend. Elend, I said before that the first two books, I thought he was alright. He wasn't my favorite. I didn't dislike him, but also I wasn't like super Elend in those books. But his storyline in this book I thought was great. Just seeing him, as I said earlier, like just trying to struggle with what he wants to be as emperor, like how much of a tyrant he wants to be and all that. And at the end, still going back to his morals and deciding to stand on that. I thought it was a great storyline overall. Sazed's whole crisis of faith throughout the entire book I thought was pretty fun to read, especially we go through the first two books and he's the faith guy, is never wavering, then seeing, because of the events of the end of the last book, just him completely crashing in this book. And then the fact that he becomes God at the end. And Vin, I just always liked Vin. She's just cool, badass the entire time. Because of the not being able to say anything, she has to do a lot of more introspective thinking, which she's always done in all the books, but this time she's having to come out with very complicated plans and not being able to say them out loud at all and everything. And she also becomes a god in the end.
Everyone gets to be God.
Who was your favorite new character from this book?
Well, Yeoman, obviously. Nice and simple. I didn't expect to get a side character who would be fleshed out so much. Like how, when he was introduced, I didn't think he was going to be fleshed out much at all, so I really enjoyed that. I thought he'd be like the citizen who, we see from afar, but we don't actually get to know that well. Because the citizen's not that interesting. He's basically your basic, Animal Farm overseer type guy coming in and making everything horrible for everyone. So definitely Yeoman, because I found him interesting. I can repeat myself only so many times there.
Yeah, I pick Yeoman as well. But I have a weird annoyance about it because I'm like, we get a lot of time with him, but none of our other characters. But I'm like, we're not going to get to see much of Yeoman because he's only going to be in this book.
No, next book stars Yeoman, shoulda.
He's the war breaker.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. I will continue the Yeoman train. I also liked him for a lot of the same reasons. But because of that, I will give an honorable mention to Milan. I was interested in her and getting another like Khandra that like looks up to Tensoon. We just didn't really get to see much of her, so I can't really put her as the favorite. But I was intrigued.
Yes, me too. I liked her a lot. And I was like, ooh, a little love interest for Shinsun. And a cool girl Khandra. What is that like? What does that mean?
I would have liked to learn what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that they just were in their previous form, right?
The previous form of a big blob.
Well, like before that, whatever they descended, like who? Yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. I forget that that's just the early ones. That the later ones were a little different.
Yeah, only the first generation, like because.
Well, then what they would have been born as? How's that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, because the mist rates still like reproduced and stuff. So everybody from the second generation and on were only ever mist rates. Oh wait, I just remember another criticism I did have of this book was the a lot of the times when they're trying to make it seem like Rashik was a good guy. That stuff.
Well, Sheta, you have a comment on that?
It's like sometimes we're like says it in one of the letters. He's like Rashik was a good man. He did some flawed stuff, but he was good. Vin being like, he made shelters. Thank you, Lord Ruler. And even like says it being like, yeah, he turned them into mist wraiths, but it made sense and probably was a smart idea, or paraphrasing that one. But all these times trying to make it seem like Rashik's not as bad. It's like, no, that's not going to work this time. I've seen other. This was got to be that had to be one of the laziest and not very well written attempts at a redemption arc for a character I've seen.
Not according to Sheta, right?
I like it because I know that it's obviously not that. Like, I like to defend him and be like, yeah, he wasn't all bad, but I didn't take it seriously. Like they were actually trying to redeem him because he is irredeemable. I don't think it's interesting that you might try that. We learn things that might have been redeemable, but he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but that was Ruin's influence.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
we don't know that.
We can assume it.
Assume is not the same. Also, Ruin impacted. We saw all our friends too, and they didn't kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, but not for 1,000 years.
Rashik was bad before Ruin.
Yeah.
Name 35 things he did that were bad.
Gosh, there's probably. If you count every person he's killed, there's plenty.
No. Before he got influenced by Ruin.
He's a liar. He's a sneak.
He did.
He's hateful.
He's racist. He hated the Kaleni people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's only one thing. I'm still waiting.
Well, we didn't know much about him. There's like 5 things we learned about him.
See, that's why we just need the Alendi-themed prequel book.
Will people hate that?
Brandon Sanderson has said that he has zero interest in writing that book.
There you go.
All right, so we've gone through the characters. Now, I'll just right now, before I forget, we'll go over the characters of the week for this book that we went through. So, which character do you think came in number 1 for most character of the weeks?
Vin?
I don't know. I thought that, but I think I voted for her one time.
Me and Joe always vote for her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Vin.
Actually, it's Spook with 9.
Spook! Fucking Spook!
Yay!
Vin came in second with 8.
Dang, I should have known.
I voted for Vin at least once.
Did you?
At least once.
And then we had 2 characters tied for 3rd place with 5 votes.
Elend and Tensoon.
Yes. And then the rest of the list, we have Marsh and Sazed, each had 3. Breeze, Human, and Yeoman each had 2. And then Orsir and Quellian each had 1.
Why did Quellian get a vote?
I think that was your vote.
I think that was you voting for Quellian.
Why are you asking? It's you.
Still, the name took me off guard.
All right. Now, next question we have. So the first 2 books, I asked you if which character you would marry from the books. If I remember correctly, Sheta said Spook for both of the first 2 books. Justin said Shan Alariel for both of the first 2. Because we're going with the assumption that the characters are still alive. And then with mine, I had Lady Kliss the first book, and I switched with Alrianne. So now I'm just going to ask, after the 3rd book, would you change the character that you would marry?
You know, I don't know that I want to marry Shan that much. She's kind of a bitch.
Oh, come on.
And yet
She's
no one
beautiful.
beats her, so I'm staying with that one.
What?
Justin, you could go with Milan and get the
Fuck no, that's gross. Those things are disgusting.
Oh. Oh, yeah, of course I'll stay with Spook.
Yep, and
Yeah.
I'll stay with Alrianne.
Oh, we're all loyal.
I don't know if loyal's what I'd say. Just a better option hasn't come
any
around.
Of us, we'll be loyal to you. That's all I'm saying.
So you're not going to pick Beldre over Shan? She was a new character.
No, she's not. She's too simple. Too innocent and simple.
All right. And then, now, which character are you the most surprised wound up surviving the entire series?
The Moo. I thought he was dead 100 times. And you could have killed him and had it be impactful any of those times.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with Tensoon. I always thought that he would die, and they even said all the Conjure was gonna die, so I was always prepared for him to be
didn't
dead
he
too.
kinda die?
Yeah, he did. That's why I was like, yep, there he goes, my favorite character. And then he came back though, right?
Well,
Came
the
back?
Conjure were able to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sazed gave them all their blessings, so...
Yeah.
From what
he
we can
survived.
assume, he's back. It was not confirmed on screen, but we can assume that. For me, I would probably have to say Marsh, since the entire time throughout this book, we're left to assume that he's gonna die. And the last time we see him, he decapitates Elend. We never see anything happen to him after that.
I always assumed Marsh was going to survive. I just never thought he would die. Times when he got really close, I was surprised. However, I thought he'd get a scene where it's like, and now I'm back to normal.
Yes, I just took all my spikes out, and I have no eyes and stuff, but I'm just normal.
Magic.
Through magic. No.
And I guess a second character would also be Set. Mainly because in the second book, he was introduced as one of the 2, villains besieging them. So that just reeked of a character that was, yeah, he's going to die.
Remind me, did we actually
book.
see Set afterwards? I don't remember. Like in the end part?
No.
I was thinking of him too, but I was thinking, for all I know, he had a heart attack, you know?
Well, he'd be in a cave, so for him to get out, somebody would have to carry him out to walk around.
True.
No one bothered. That's so sad.
Yeah, because I think the only person that they pointed out from the Fadric stuff was Ham. But granted, it was also Spook, so if Yeoman came out, Spook would not have been able to be like, oh, and Yeoman walked out.
Yeah, that's another thing. I thought that Set would be a bigger character in here too, but he wasn't.
Yep,
So,
he's one I would have done more of for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's do a lot. We'll do not all those same things, but some of them. Just together, go over your overall thoughts and any criticisms or changes you'd have for the overall Mistborn trilogy.
Well, the thoughts are, I think it's a really interesting story when you put all 3 together. Definitely not what I would have expected it to be big picture from reading the first book, which is always really fun with an epic like that. I always like stories that start out real small, and by the end of it, you've got all this crazy divine stuff happening. Or like that journey from just a nobody to God is always quite an interesting one. Which it's funny that there's enough of those that's a whole genre of its own, basically. Criticisms. I feel like this kind of goes in with what we said. I feel like we got so much world building in the first book that when you do start opening those next levels of crazy cosmic stuff, I like when the world building continues at a similar level. So I would have liked to just learn more and just see more details. Yeah, the first book had a lot more details, I think. Yeah, that's a complaint, but it's not a huge one. Changes.
Are you going to say all of them? Because I'll have to say mine too.
I don't have any detailed changes. I just probably would have cut out a lot of stuff and then added a lot of stuff in. So That's all just personal preference stuff. Like, sadly, I probably would have cut stuff like Zane out, even though I really like him, because big
What?
picture, he's not that important.
Yeah,
In order
I
to
would
move in
agree.
more room for some of our side characters, or I would have had him be a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
but those
saying.
are personal. Yeah, I can't say that. I don't have any detailed changes like I did with the third book, so that's all I got, Shita. You're up.
Don't say that. I don't like that.
You don't like what?
You're up. Like,
You're up to bat.
I just said what I said before. Same kind of thing with wanting. Oh, my change actually was to have either kept Kelsier longer or killed him sooner. And I don't like the amount of time we got with him.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know. I just, because yeah. If now that we've read the whole thing, and we see that Kelsier does not, in fact, come back, he is just dead. I was, I don't know if are the only ones who are waiting for him to make a comeback or something, and he kind of did. If
Yeah, he
not,
did. I'd say,
but
in a way.
I just don't like those kind of things. Maybe it's just me, but it was really distracting to me because he was such a big impression in the first book. And there's plenty of books that do that where they kill someone you think is the main character and it's very shocking. But Kelsier was the book to me, was the main character, not Vin, not Ellen. So I just don't like that. Kelsier was the main character in it when you kill him like that. To me, he was like the whole book. When you cut him off, it feels like you're cutting off the head of an entire animal or something, and you can't really go on without it. Ellen and Vin and saves it all together didn't make up Kelsier, so I felt the whole book I missed Kelsier, and I missed that element of having a big lead actor like that, a lead character. So,
You know, Shita, you say you would have killed him off earlier or later.
mhm.
I disagree with that for the fact that I feel like the moment he killed him was just early enough that you would continue reading the book, because if that happened at like the beginning of the second book or something, you would have just stopped reading the series,
Oh, I know.
But just late enough that
I,
you
I
feel completely safe that he's not going to die. I think it's a really mean thing to do to the
That's what I'm
audience.
saying. It
But
is
yeah,
mean.
it's really
But
interesting to see that. But I do hear what you're saying too, Shita. I imagine a lot of people quit reading very quickly after that.
I almost did. The thought of him maybe coming back was the only thing that kept me going, which was annoying to me.
He did, to spook.
No, he didn't. Also, maybe if he got killed later in the second book, that would have been better for me.
Oh God, no! I hate
I would have
that.
I would have had more time with him. I would have had, I think that would feel better for me than
Yeah.
at the end of the first book. So it would have been the middle of the trilogy, kind of then, because
I
he's
can
just too
hear
big
you,
of a
but I hate
deal.
that so much. I hate it. It
Yeah.
always feels so cheap to me when they do that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not a cheap stuff. I know what you're saying because I hate in
Yeah.
like sequel movies when they do that.
Mhm.
Like they draw you in by saying, "Oh, this character is going to be in here," and then they kill him. No, I hate
Yeah.
that too.
Oh,
So
it's like
yeah,
like any horror movie where you'll have a main character, and the next movie they get killed in like the first 5 minutes as their way to say nobody's safe now,
Yeah.
and that
Ugh,
always
no.
annoys me so much.
Okay, not like those examples.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I would disagree because Kelsier, he had to die there for the whole religion stuff going on,
Mhm.
and then he cast a big shadow over the next two books even without being there, and I felt like that worked pretty well.
And I
Yeah.
only disagree on the timing shit. I would have loved for Kelsier to stick around personally.
Oh no, it's fine. It's good. They did a good job of. Everyone felt his loss too in the book, so maybe it was just effective then, because
Definitely
his presence was
effective.
always there. Everyone's missing him. Gosh, I miss Kelsier. So sad. You just don't kill characters that are so charismatic. They're larger than life. Like it feels like in real life when a really big, beloved pop star dies. Before
A
their
pop
time.
star.
No, like before their time. I just mean the how beloved they are. They're big character, like Freddie Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just very sad.
Or
And you
for any
think too,
wrestling fans out there, Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, Eddie Guerrero,
So we're saying Calcier is the Freddie Mercury, Eddie Guerrero of this world. Is that what I'm hearing?
entertainer, genius. Yes.
All right.
And we would have gotten more. We should have got more out of them, but they left us too soon. That's the feeling.
All right, I'll go on to my thoughts then. Personally, I really liked the trilogy. I thought it was great first time I went through it. Liked it better this time going through it. My thoughts are still kind of the same. Where the middle one, while I liked it better this time through, it was still a little bit slow at some points in the middle for me. But that is something where that's like the criticism I see given the most for that book. I still like it more than other people give it, but I can see where their criticisms are coming from. My overall criticisms for the trilogy, same thing what I said for the third book. Just some of the characters, like they were just, we've all said it, kind of put to the wayside at some points. Doxson in the second book didn't really get to do much, and then he got killed off. Ham in both the second and third one didn't really get to do much. Alrianne in the third one was just kind of there. Like a lot of these characters. Or the one that Justin loved in the first book, Lady Clist, literally never shows up again after that first book.
Love is not. I never loved Lady Cliff.
You did.
I just
You kept bringing
expected her
her
to
up.
do a lot.
Okay, maybe not love, but she was the one you said you were most looking forward to seeing more.
I expected her to be a whole character.
See,
for sure,
that's what I mean by characters sitting in the back of your heart, being like, I wonder what they're up to, and they never get referenced again.
She got
Like,
killed by Kolos. That's the answer, Sheta.
we don't know that. She could be hiding
Yeah.
out in one of the old buildings.
That reminds me of like times when I would watch like sitcoms or like dramas or something like that, like TV shows, and you'd have a one character that shows up for one episode, and I like them so much. It's just like, and they're never gonna show up again, and I get so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
Yeah.
but then you
I
get
always
some
think
of
of
them.
shows like 24 where you have a character for a whole season and they're never seen or referenced again after that, and you can just assume they transferred somewhere else, but you never get a line about it.
Yeah. I was gonna say like one character that kind of represented that was Barclay in Star Trek, but then he kept showing up. So it's like, all right, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some changes I would have had. I would have done a little bit more with some of those characters and everything, and make some changes in the second one to speed it up a little bit or give a little bit more stuff during that whole siege. And just what are some of your favorite moments that you can remember through the whole Mistborn trilogy?
Whole Mistborn trilogy, my favorite moment is when Vin jumps down from the sky with a giant sword and cuts Straff in half. That is my favorite moment in the whole series. That was so badass. That felt like it was a freaking anime. I didn't feel like I was reading a fantasy book.
That's a very Justin scene.
Then Spook giving up that power, realizing and sacrificing himself. And then in the first book, I think my favorite moment is the Lord Ruler just getting stabbed and casually walking forward.
All right. Imagine this like a flashback, and it's all heartfelt. When I think of the trilogy, I really like when we thought we were doing an Ocean's 11, but make it sci-fi and fantasy. Kelsier and the group are all making plans to go and take down this big, mysterious government led by a god, and it just felt so impossible to them from that perspective. I really like the feeling of just starting there from a nobody ska level, trying to go all the way up to heaven, kill God and stuff. It felt like it was really unique to feel that. I really like Kelsier teaching Vin Allomancy and having her be introduced to such a big world compared to her small world that she's lived in all this time. And I'll always think of the feeling I got when I first started reading, and Vin was just a poor, like, ska slave girl, basically, and she was using her luck powers, and she didn't know what it was. She just knew that sometimes she had luck, and she just kind of did it without nearly understanding. It was just such a unique feeling too, to not know anything about how far we've come here, but to see her knowing that there was a weird, mysterious power that she had that she didn't know about, and she was just using it. I just really love that. The moment when I realized Vin was going to get a talking dog as a companion, I was so happy. I was like, oh, that is the cutest idea ever. I love it so much. I love the imagery, and I love Tensoon so much, the character. It was just so fun. I also really, really enjoyed Zane's sweet intro when he comes in all badass and hot in front of Vin. Like, he really liked her in secret, so when he reveals himself, that scene was just described so well, I thought, to be like as cool, to kind of like tempt Vin to becoming more like him. I like that. Okay, and then my last two is Vin's makeover to becoming a lady, and then Ellen's makeover to becoming a king. I really enjoy those moments. So that's it for my favorite moments.
All right, so mine, not really a happy moment where I'm like, oh yeah, that was awesome, but it's just something that always stuck out with me would be Kelsier's death.
Jeez, you sick bastard, Joe.
I loved it when that happened. Is that what you're saying?
But just him standing up to the Lord Ruler and just telling him, it's like, yeah, you can't beat me. I am hope. Just still being defiant in his face, smiling. Then he dies, because that also, just the death was shocking, because I did not expect him to die. Yes, I know mentor characters a lot of times die and stuff, but starting the book, I fully expected it would be him and Vin throughout the series. So that shocked me, but it also stuck with me, and so that's why I liked the moment. And Well of Ascension, when Vin releases the power, and then you just hear Ruin's voice, I am free. That, where it's just, that whole, like, what the fuck moment when that happens, just whatever the hell was trapped there just got free, not even knowing what it was, what was coming. That, I felt, was just a big shocking moment. And I liked it, and I always look forward to us getting to it. And then probably this one with Marsh ripping the earring from Vin's ear. Just another moment where just Marsh, all book, just waiting and waiting, then finally overcomes and saves Vin, and in order to do what's right, fully expecting to die there. Alright, and then, who are your top 5 favorite Mistborn characters in the whole trilogy?
Top 5?
Yes.
I only did top 3. I'll just add 2 on. Nice and easy. Not characters who are Mistborn, just characters in Mistborn, correct?
Yeah, just characters.
Yes, Mr. Bean, what the heck?
Alright, they're going to be Kelsier, Orsir, Sazed, Yeoman, and Breeze.
Do you mean Orsir or Tensoon?
Yeah, you keep freaking saying Orsir.
They're the same thing in my head.
No, they're not. Orsir is a weird loser who died.
Jeez.
Just kidding.
Pretty much would be, if you liked Renew in the first book, that'd be Orsir.
Exactly. And he was not. He was
did like
he was a
Renew.
Weirdo.
And I got those feelings on the Tensoon. But Tensoon is the one I really like from second book. So there, you happy?
What was it again?
Kelsier, Tensoon, Sazed, Yeoman, and...
Oh, you cut out.
I did?
Yeah. We just need the last one.
Oh. Sadly, I'm sorry it wasn't Straff, it's Breeze.
Alright, Sheta?
Okay. Kelsier, Sazed, Tensoon, Vin, and Zane.
Alright. Then for mine, it'd be Kelsier, Vin, Orianne, Sazed, Breeze.
So Kelsier and Sazed were the ones you got on every list, is that correct?
Did you have Vin on yours?
No, sadly I did not. Oh. She'd be just below.
Just below who?
So
she'd be 1 or 2 under Breeze.
Breeze? I didn't like Breeze so much. Wow. See, Breeze would be my favorite character if he would have showed up more. You know, he's so close. He's one of my favorite archetypes, and I would have liked more with him.
For me, with Breeze, I liked him fine in the first book, but it was when he had his thing in the second book where he was just breaking down and just thought he was being useless, but he was actually still using his power and being useful to the last second. That made me like him quite a bit.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's great. I just wish I could put him on my top, I don't know.
All right. Now, one thing I did,
Next.
which I did not tell either of you two about as we were going through,
Oh,
kind of like how I
God.
saved our favorite characters of the week for each book, I also saved our favorite characters of the week for the entire trilogy. So it's all cumulative.
Wow.
So, who do you think came in number 1?
Jeez.
I'd assume Vin, because Kelsey wouldn't have enough.
Number 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Vin. She had 23.
Okay.
And now second place was tied with 2 people who each had 11.
Sazed
Spook?
and Ellen would be my guess.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But no. Ellen didn't even get first in ours.
I voted for Ellen a few times in the first book, I know. Second book, too.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, whole series.
Yeah.
Just my guess.
I didn't, though.
Right,
I don't have a guess.
It was Sazed and Spook.
Oh,
Okay.
damn you, Sheta, getting Spook up there.
It wasn't just
All right.
me.
And then I'll just ask you the next 2 who are both tied for 10th.
Well, that's got to be Ellen and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yep, they both had 10. And then for the rest of the list, next went Tensoon at 9, Breeze at 7, Marsh at 5, Alrian, Lord Ruler, Tindwyl, and Zane with 3, Ham, Human, Orseer, Shan, Straff, and Yeoman with 2, and then the ones that had 1 vote each were Set, Clubs, A Mistwraith, Quellion, and Ruin.
Ruin only got 1. Come on, everyone picked him as their favorite at the end, though. Go Mistwraith. See, those wound up being really important. I called it.
But
Yeah,
one
not that
random
one.
It was like in that deer we saw in the woods. He's our favorite character
No,
for this
that
week.
thing was so interesting to me.
I know you were really fascinated. Did it live up to your expectation?
No, it didn't really do that much until the very end. That helped.
And I love Ruin being on there. And it's not from the 3rd book. That was from the Well of Ascension.
Yeah, he was interesting. The thing with Ruin is most of my liking of him comes from learning that he's more than just a living concept. I assume the same with you, Sheta?
I don't know. I don't like that as much as you do. But yeah.
Then why'd you pick him as one of your favorites for this book?
Because I did like the personality, and I didn't think of him as a person though. I thought of him as a being.
Yeah,
That's not the aspect I like most about it.
I see.
All right, so next thing we're doing, we're adding a little segment here, because I know Justin had mentioned before that he likes ranking stuff, so we're going to do that. We're going to be ranking a couple different things for this. For not just Mistborn, but we're ranking from the Cosmere stuff we've seen before, so Elantris and Mistborn. So first, we'll just do ranking the 4 books we've read. Not a tier list, we don't need to worry about putting A tier, B tier, all that, just ranking how you like them, 1 to 4.
Am I still going first, or Sheta?
We'll let you two decide who wants to go.
I want to go first this time. I don't like
Okay.
waiting.
Take it.
Okay. All right. My book ranking. Wait, number 1 first or 4 first?
Let's start from the bottom up.
Okay, yeah, I thought that would be cool. Okay, number 4, I have Hero of Ages. 3, Will of Ascension. 2, Final Empire, and number 1 is Elantris.
Hey,
Should we say what we liked about it or no?
you don't
Yeah,
have
maybe.
to. It's up to you. Whatever you want.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
You don't need to be super in depth though, but maybe a
Okay.
couple ideas, just quick.
Okay, yeah. I just really like the story of Elantris, and I enjoy the characters and relationships in that contained story.
I'm the same as you, except the top 2. I start Hero Ages at the bottom, Well of Ascension, then Elantris is 2, and I put Final Empire at 1. Because I really liked the dark unhappiness of Final Empire quite a bit. But Elantris, I really liked the story and the characters in. Then Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages, no shade to them, but I really liked the world building aspect quite a bit, and we didn't get as much of that in those 2.
Yeah. It's always a hard thing with doing rankings is just because something is on the bottom of the ranking does not mean that we think that it's bad.
Mhm.
My rankings. So I had number 4, Well of Ascension. Number 3, I had Elantris. Number 2, I had Hero of Ages. And number 1, The Final Empire. I like The Final Empire pretty much beginning to end. Hero of Ages, I thought had some pretty good climactic moments. Elantris, I also really like, so it's pretty close to Hero of Ages. And while I did like Well of Ascension, I did have more problems with that book than the others. So next, we will be ranking the villains. Now, I put together a list of villains that we ranked. So if people want to know, the villains that I put on the list were Deloff, Shan Ilariel, Lord Ruler, Zane, Strath Venture, Ruin, Quellion, and Marsh. And I realize now that maybe I should have included Yeoman on the list.
Yeoman's not a villain. He's more of an antagonist for part of it.
As much as Marsh is a villain, you know?
Marsh is a villain. He gets redeemed, but he's still a villain. He's a monster.
They were going to go and fight Yeoman. Yeoman attacked them.
And did Yeoman kill one of our protagonists?
Well, no, but
neither did
still,
Quellion.
Yeah, if Quillion's on here, then Yeoman should be on here. That's what I'm saying. They were about the same level.
I totally disagree.
I'll just leave him off because I forgot to put him on, and he's kind of the Set level, where Set was also a villain, but I didn't put him on there.
Yeah, I would villain agree with is a harsh word, so yeah.
Exactly, yes.
I see.
So
okay,
so
go ahead.
Ranking of the villains.
Go ahead, you're going first, Sheta.
I found that I didn't really like going first. Too
much responsibility and power for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go first, and I'll piss Sheta off by saying at the absolute bottom I have Zane. I think that he didn't stick around long enough for me to think of him as a strong villain. Shan is 7 because she was not. She got killed so fast, but she was fun. Then Lord Ruler, then Marsh at 5. Because I thought Marsh was scary as shit, but, 4 was Ruin. 3, I have Quellion. 2, I have Straff. And number 1, I have Deloff. Because Deloff is just incredibly entertaining as a villain.
Yeah, now I wish I did go first.
Yeah.
I assume all these lists will be very different from each other.
Oh, yeah.
Mine is not that different from you, actually.
These ones are very subjective. Oh, really, Sheta? Let's hear it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 8, I have Marsh because I really don't consider him that big of a villain. I consider that Ruin more than Marsh. Shan because she was a bad bitch and...
Well, bad bitch. Oh my goodness.
I like her being a villain to Vin because she was a love interest rival. And then she literally tried to kill Ellen. So dang, I should have put her higher than...
The competition's pretty stiff.
Yeah, okay, I guess, yeah. After her would be the Lord Ruler, so that's fast.
Yeah.
I thought, Lord Ruler, ever present, but we only really get to see him for real in the last book. Quellion for being a dick and a hypocrite. Zane is at 4 because I feel like I don't consider him that big of a villain towards the bigger plot, too. He's kind of just obsessed with a couple little things. 3, Ruin for being, that's a pretty high spot. For being a presence, but not being that into it until the last book. And then 2, I put Straff, because he's the worst. And then 1 for Deloff, because he is very entertaining, like you were saying. Deloff, I can't believe what seemingly was such a small character. Justin remembers him. We remember him from all the way from the first book. Just because he was so great.
What do you mean Justin remembers him? What is that supposed to mean?
That means you don't remember someone unless they make a really good impression.
Oh, no.
A character,
Is that what I'm looking like? Oh, God.
Yeah. Who was Gorodel again?
Yeah.
To be fair, you're comparing the main villain of a book to Gorodel.
But Deloff didn't start like that. He was just a weird little minion at first,
But he was in the entire book.
Yeah, I guess I don't consider it on the big scale. I didn't consider that, but...
Alright. Now, my villains list. Number 8, Quellion. He was okay. Number 7, Straff. Well, he was a dick and that sort of stuff. He also... never really a big threat, I felt. Number 6 was Zane. He's just kind of there. 5 is Deloff. I liked him, but the other ones I liked more, so it's not bad. Number 4, Shan Alariel. I don't know why, but especially this time going through the book, I just wound up liking her more and more. I do not know why she stuck out so much in my mind where it's like, alright, she has to go up there. Number 3 will be Ruin. Number 2 is Marsh. I just liked his whole inner struggle and stuff. He's still doing all the killing and stuff, but he still had that inner struggle trying to overcome being controlled. And number 1, the Lord Ruler. While we did not see him much, I just felt his presence throughout the entire book was so great. And then you had the cart showing up, and even the end when he kills Kelsier, all you have is just the cart shows up, and you just know, oh, fuck.
You threw a lot of shade at some of those lower guys, Joe.
I had to give a reason for why they're on the bottom. As I said before.
Yeah, but me and Sheta's reason were they're on the bottom because they're so awesome. You're like, they were there.
Yeah, how dare you say that about Zane?
I like all of them, but it's like, I like the others more, and I had to give a reason for why they're on the bottom instead of higher up. If I said, yeah, they're all awesome, then it would be kind of a weird, well if they're awesome, why are they 8th?
I called Shan a bad bitch, and she was 7. Is she also the only girl in here? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Unless Ruin is. Oh no, Ruin is a man. Never mind.
No, we saw him.
Yeah, it's a red-haired man.
So far, there aren't a lot of girls in the story overall. Not one of those fucking 1-star review complaints, just a comment.
Yeah, Justin, whoa. You were starting to sound like...
I would have put more women in it. That's
Where
my
are the
change
women?
I would have added, yeah. And more people of various fill in the blank, because that's what makes a story good. I should start. Next book, I'm just going to talk like a 1-star review the entire book, Joe.
Oh, no.
What are you talking about? We already have we already have, oh my god, I'm sorry. What's his name? The paraplegic they make fun of?
Yeah. You know, I'll have to alternate every episode, though, and also complain about how there's too many women, so I can be the other side of those 1-star reviews.
Yeah, Vin is too much of a Mary Sue main character.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everyone's a Mary Sue.
So if people have not listened to our 2 bonus episodes we have out, or our upcoming bonus episodes of 1-star reviews, this is an example of what you get to hear. You get to hear people complaining about the books because of a lot of it very bad reasoning.
Yeah.
Or not understanding characters and what their roles are.
It's exactly what we're saying. It's either all these complaints for one thing and all these complaints for the other way for another thing that would just contradict that comment overall. So,
all right, and now we'll go on to our last rankings that we did. This one, a lot of people out there may get annoyed with it, but I thought it'd be fun to do and funny. We're ranking ships, like relationships, shipping, that sort of stuff.
Can I abstain?
No.
Do I have that choice?
But since you won't be into it, we'll let Sheta go first this time. But I will say the ships that I put on the list. So we have Raoden Serini, Rathan Serini, Shuden Tarina, Vin Elend, Vin Kelsier, Shan Elend, Vin Zane, Vin Spook, Breeze Ulrian, Sazed Tindwill, Spook Beldre, Straff Amaranta, and Tensoon Milan.
I feel like that's just a spoiler for what fun is to come.
What's a spoiler?
Reading off the list.
No, this way people can understand everything that's going to pop up.
And you can follow along and do your rating and see where you are.
Mm-hmm. Or quit the podcast right now because we dare to do this.
This.
Not skip. Quit the entire thing.
Oh, quit. Yeah. All right. We
man,
lost
no.
fans.
We're going to come back to this from time to time, every couple books, just to see how new one's going.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, man. I am sad that there's some ships that you didn't put on the list, Joe. So
I asked you, are there any I'm missing? And you said no.
And you said...
Yeah, you didn't put on Aurea and Beldre like I asked.
Yeah, they had one interaction.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right,
Beldre said you didn't like her. Okay,
Sheta,
the one I wanted... Sorry.
Just go through your ranking, please.
No, okay. All right. At 13, I have... Don't come at me. Vin X Elend.
What the fuck? What in God's name? What the... Oh my God, Sheta.
I don't... don't like them that much together. I think it's really boring. So sorry.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
Okay, these are not like for me. Ships is like what's interesting, what like a fun relationship in your fantasies, not like an actual one. Vin and Ellen was like your married friends who you're like, oh yeah, cool. You're so interesting now that you're married. Like, I just, I just don't think that's very interesting for a relationship. Okay, it's fine though. I love them. Nothing against them with their last place. Okay.
Nothing against them, but Straff Amaranta's a better relationship.
Oh, I enjoy it more. You know, at least no. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that out loud. But
Just
okay.
go on with your nightmare list you're about to subject us to, Sheta.
Why are you making me go first? Now you're getting criticized. Okay. At number 12, I have Shan and Ellen. I just think they have a cute relationship, but it wasn't going to work since she tried to kill him. And then at 11, I have Shuden and Tarina. I thought it was pretty cute that they wanted to get together, even though I think Tarina's super boring. And at 10, I have Straff x Amaranta. I enjoy a good toxic relationship.
What in the fuck?
Oh, God.
And she kind of got her revenge at the end, even though it was super sad that she got killed too.
That's part of why you like them as a ship, because she got her revenge at the end?
I didn't think that was...
She really didn't get her revenge because he was fine. And he realized what drug he was on. It's like, you know what? This is fine.
Her revenge is even better because he stupidly killed himself. It was really good. If she would have just stabbed him, but he was doing it to himself. Like, oh, it was just too good.
All right. Let's get off of Straff.
Okay, sorry. 9, I have Vin and Spook. I thought their relationship was really cute at the beginning, and we really see Spook grow. And I just liked it. I like it when there's two kind of youngish people, and one of them's always like, I kind of have a crush on them. It was very sweet. And he gave her a hanky, which was very cute. Alright, at 8, I have Breeze and Oriane because, yeah, I like them just fine. I think their dynamic is cute with their powers. And I love old man, younger girl thing quite a bit. And then...
What are we unleashing here by allowing Sheta to do this?
I'm sorry!
Oh, like people don't already know about her weird... I mean, she's talked about her, like, Jorah Mormont Daenerys thing, or
God, no.
Littlefinger Sansa.
Oh, no. Jesus, God, no.
I didn't like those. I just enjoyed them.
I'll admit, I do have a weird thing where I kind of find the Littlefinger Sansa thing.
You guys are fucking freaks, man. You guys are
don't judge.
I don't want them to get together.
I was a weirdo.
But I would not have been sad if the book ends with Littlefinger on the Iron Throne married to Sansa.
Well, that's different. That's different than just shipping them. All right, Sheta, end this abomination.
Okay. All right. Number 7, I have Tinsoon and Milan. Again, I feel like Tinsoon is a second or a 5th generation, and Milan is a 5th.
Like that matters at that scale.
I think I still like it. Tinsoon is 3rd.
Tinsoon is 3rd, and I think Milan was
is 5.
No, she's not. 5 is fully behind the 2nd. I think she was 7th or 8th. 7th generation.
So even younger. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tinsoon's probably got the biggest age gap of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really like that. I'm sad it didn't get fleshed out more. No pun intended, because they're Khandra.
Oh my god, just finish this nightmare. This is agony.
At 6, I have Spook and Beldre. I thought it was cute. I'm glad Spook had a girl at the end, and it was really dorky, just like the characters. 5th, I have Salen and Tindwell. I really like that they got a relationship too. Very cute and sweet. And then I have a little note. What about Ellen and Tindwell, Joe? You didn't put that on the list.
What the?
That's because there was there was nothing romantic between them.
What? You have like a teacher-student thing going with them.
Sheta, you're at the point where you could ship any character with any character.
I like to ship Breeze and Yeoman.
Yep, exactly.
But they
They
didn't
would have got
even
along
talk.
so well. Yeah, that's
Endel
crazy.
Tillen and Ellen talked a lot. They spent a lot of time together and have a whole relationship, so that makes a little more sense. Okay, at 4, finally, I have Rayoden and
Oh god, we're
Serini.
only at 4. I'm sorry, Sheta.
Hey!
Raiden, Serini.
I really enjoyed their mysterious love thing they had going and secret fiancés who don't know each other. And then at 3, I have Raythan and Serini. I love them.
Above
They're great.
Rayoden. That angers me so much.
Yes. Oh, I couldn't believe that. I know people. It's really split between people liking that, but never thought he would admit that he was actually interested in Serini, and I always like good characters like that end up actually having romantic feelings. And then number 2, I feel like you're making me reveal too much here, Joe. Like you're making me do
You
the
have
list.
done this to yourself, Sheta.
I wouldn't have done this ranking, but now everyone's gonna be like, she's into that. Like, okay. At number 2, I have Vin and Kelsey here.
Oh god, no. Hey, at least it's 2.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough one. So number 1, I have Vin and Zane. Okay.
Oh god, what in God's name?
I just enjoyed that way too much. I don't get that in real books. That's why.
That's true,
Zane-
that is true.
Zane feels like an OC, and I'm like, is this happening? It's perfect. I just love it.
Yeah, Zane, that would be like you're playing like a game that has different love interests. It's like, well, this is the love. Ellen's the love interest the game wants me to pick, but no, I'm going with Zane.
Yeah, it does.
exactly.
It does feel
See?
like that. It feels very customizable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, I couldn't believe it was happening. I was so happy that he was so obsessed with her and he was so toxic. It was just great. I really enjoyed it. So, and I enjoyed that they referenced Vin and Kelsier too. Like, what about Kelsier? Like I just I can't believe they referenced that. I thought that was only in my wildest fantasies. So I was really happy.
The closest romance game analogy I can think is if you choose Jack over Miranda in the story
Yeah. There you go.
for Zane. However,
whole-
I think Jack is a lot easier to redeem than Zane, who's actually crazy.
We didn't give him time, and he was spiked.
Oh boy. Well, mine's going to be a lot less colorful compared to that. At my absolute bottom is Vin Kelsier, because that's a fucking abomination. Then just above that, this is how much I hate Vin Kelsier. Just above that is Straff Amaranta.
I put Strap Amaranta on the list as a joke. I hoped it would have been bottom for everyone.
It's a good one to compare where the others are. Then I have Vin X Zane because that's horrible. Vin X Spook because that's horrible. Then we get to some normal ones. I have Shootin' X Tarina because I barely remember their romance, if I'm going to be honest. Spook X Beldre I have. What's that?
Well, Shootin' was still with Tarina after her father killed his friend, so he still wanted to continue the relationship.
There you go. Spook X Beldre is next because I like it, but we don't see a lot of it. Shan Elland because, as you know, Shan's my girl. Wraithen Serini. Yes, I stand by Shan. I'm a Shan fan. Wraithen X Serini is next for a lot of the reasons Sheta said. I think you could tell he had some feelings. It's interesting to see him acknowledge that at the end, even though it was never going to happen, which I wouldn't want it to either. Rayoden X Serini, they're not higher because they're just too perfect together, so there's no real shipping to be done.
Doesn't say the number.
Oh, at 4 now we're at Tensoon Milan. Is that the name? Because I thought that was
Milan.
interesting. I would like to see it fleshed out. At 3, we have Vin Elland, because that just makes sense. 2, we have Sazed Tindwyl, because I didn't expect Sazed to find love. And number 1, we have Breeze Alrienne, because I didn't expect them to actually go through with it.
So you're a creep too, huh?
No, I'm not a creep.
At number 1?
These all make perfect sense. The only reason it's number 1 is because I didn't think they'd actually do that, but they did. I thought one of them would die off.
And Breeze isn't treated as a father figure to
Yes,
all
that is also a big part of it.
Hey, back in the day, that was part of the relationship.
Don't give me none of this back in the day things. If you want to do that,
Can
we can
he
say
take
all the
care?
horrible things
Yeah,
that happened back then.
Ugh. We can get into like the manga Usagi drop. Ugh.
Oh, I still gotta watch that.
Well, the anime ends. The anime is just a sweet little thing. It's the manga that continues the story and it gets creepy.
Okay.
If you watch the anime, you won't get any of the creepy shit. Alright, but let's go to my ships. At the bottom, at number 13, I have Straff Amaranta. Yeah, that I just felt that one deserves to be
It's
bottom.
not a ship.
They had they literally they have more romance than a lot of the other people on this list.
Yeah,
Yes, true.
they're the one of the two
They've had
that
it-
actually have sex.
Oh,
they've
God.
had at least
Now, you
one
had to...
child
Oh,
together.
God. Oh, God. You know what? Just finish this nightmare. I hate this.
Number 12, I have Wraith and Sereni. I just hated that moment in that book so much. I really felt like it was not necessary. He could have simply just, if he never thought it's because I love you, it would have changed absolutely nothing. He could have just done it because he respected her as a person. Number 11, I have Vin Kelsier, because I just find that creepy. Number 10, I have Vin and Spook, because that was barely ever a thing, and that was before I even really knew Spook as a character and stuff. Number 9, I have Spook Beldre, because, as I said earlier, I found that kind of creepy, especially the first half of that relationship. Second half was better. 8 was Shuden and Tarina. You know, nothing really special about them, but nothing really bad. They're just a decent couple. 7, we're at Seiza Tindwill. I liked them together. It was a good relationship. But I just like some of the other ones just captivated me more. Number 6 was Tensoon and Milan. First time reading it, when Milan showed up, I was like, oh, sweet. There's a romance, a love interest with Tensoon, and I was really intrigued by it. Number 5, I have Vin Zane. While I definitely, I would not have wanted her to pick Zane, I was also kind of hoping for a little bit more drama, love triangle sort of thing, and maybe a little bit more of Vin wavering. Even though I know that would have pissed off more readers than who would have enjoyed it, so I understand why that did not happen.
Yeah. That would have pissed a lot of people.
Woo!
But I've read plenty of romance manga. Number 4, Shan and Elend. I don't know why. I just felt like that would be just a weird relationship. Maybe a little toxic, but who knows? Maybe if they were actually married, they could have gotten things to work out.
What the fuck are you people talking about?
I think they would have had a terrible marriage.
I mean,
Like,
I think
Shan
Ellen would have been
like,
dead very quickly.
No,
they did
she
say in
married him. Like,
I mean, the book did say that, yeah, she would have killed him once there was an heir. But that did not come from her mouth. That was other people assuming it. We don't know that for a fact. Maybe she was pissed because they broke off the marriage.
mm-hmm. Maybe she liked him and she just was like a woman's fury spurned, like.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have Vin and Elend. I like them as a relationship. Just it was a little cringy, a little cheesy, but also they were pretty young people, so it makes sense for them to have kind of a cringy, cheesy romance. 2, I had Breeze and Alrianne. I just liked it pretty much from right where it first started. First, Breeze being all against it, being like, no, she might like me because I've been trying to soothe her without realizing it. But then you find out that, nope, never mind, she's the one that's been trying to get him. And then you realize later that she actually does have more feelings for him and isn't just using him. And number 1 is Raoden Sereni. It's one of... I said it at that book, it's like one of my favorite romances in the Cosmere. I liked how, even before they had met, just like exchanging letters and stuff, and they chose themselves to arrange this marriage. They liked each other then. She goes into there, she doesn't realize it's Raoden, but they fall for each other once again. So just 2 different instances of Raoden, or of Sereni falling for Raoden. That was pretty good.
That's true. That's very cute. I miss them.
Yeah. So that's all our shipping stuff. And then one thing I wanted to reveal, Oh,
I think
go
we've
ahead,
revealed
Justin.
a lot here.
Oh, no.
Oh, I
So
know.
so one thing I wanted to reveal about one of these ships that I didn't want to say beforehand because it may have adjusted where you rank them, but it was also not something given right in the text directly. Is with Tensoon and Milan, they're how that relationship is Tensoon is more like he's more of like a father figure to Milan. He sort of like raised
Mm-hmm.
her underneath his wing because the third generations raised the seventh. And so he sees her as more like a daughter figure, but she sees him in like a romantic light. And he finds that
Mm-hmm.
a little weird.
Go
She
on.
was just like, yeah, I knew all this. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
So
all this, just Joe.
yeah.
Of course.
So that's why in the book it's like what first time I went through it, I didn't realize that. I thought it was actually a straight up just they had a romantic past and everything. So
Oh
that's why
no.
I didn't want to say that because that's what I thought throughout. It wasn't until
Well,
later that I
now I've got to
realized
put
that they
them
didn't.
lower. You know, I
No,
don't judge Condra shit. That's a whole different world. I can't even guess on that stuff.
yeah, they're so much older too. But I totally got that feeling. Like the way he spoke of her and the way he spoke of all her like friends who were around her age and stuff. Like he was obviously more like a older professor type to there. And I liked it. I got to put it higher on my list actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's our relationship one. Probably the one that may get the most groans or
I am
anger from the fans.
so sorry to everyone out there.
I know. I do feel bad.
Or
You can
if
skip it. Like I
or if people out there, if you have your own list, feel free to throw them down in the comments, email them to us. I would love to know them, and I would read them on here to see how yours differ from ours.
yeah.
No,
And if there's
no,
any
God, no.
relationships that you like that weren't on the list, I would like to know.
No, God, no.
All
Justin,
right,
chill.
Just in what?
all right. Let's now leave that, and then we'll just go into the our fan castings for this book.
Woohoo!
Probably be less than the last books, but
Yeah.
and Sheta, you can lead us off because you usually take the reins in this. So you
Oh,
pick
I
the order
do.
we do the
Okay.
characters.
Hmm. All right. So I have it separated into like maybe characters who would be in scenes together because they're together. All right. We'll start with Yeoman. All right. I'll start with Yeoman in that city. I don't remember what it's called. Fadrix.
Fadrix.
Fadrix City. Robert Pattinson as Yeoman. He's young and like-minded to Ellen. I could see him having a whole like debate about stuff, and he's a little bit sensitive, so he can be very spiritual about his belief.
But if you have Robert
And
Pattinson, then all the ladies in the city should be falling for him.
maybe they are.
Do we have a
Maybe they are.
sense of Yeoman's age from the text? I couldn't remember that. Is he
I
younger or
think
is he older?
I think it was mentioned he was younger, like
He's
not
younger?
too much
Okay.
older than Ellen.
yeah, like he could be one of Ellen's friends. Like they could have
Okay.
debated back in the day, that kind of thing. But he is bald, I think. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to lose that hair.
Is he? I didn't remember
Yeoman.
that.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
an
bald.
obligator.
Yeah.
So they all shave their heads.
Ah, well,
Oh,
that
he
fucks
he'd
up
look
my
good.
casting.
Yeah.
I'll just want to put yours out there.
All right, I'm going with similar things. I've got a guy who can play a little more intelligent, but also a little twerpier than she does. He's able to. I went with Zachary Quinto as my yeoman.
Ooh, that's good.
Somebody
You
who
could
can
be-
do whiny and competent at the same time.
That's very good.
And no offense to Quinto, is going to cost a little less than than your guy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
But like Justin was saying, you'll lose the hair.
Yeah, I didn't think of that when I cast it. If I did, I would cast somebody else, but I'm sure he can pull it off.
He could have gone with oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? The new Lex Luthor.
That's true. He looks good bald.
Ooh, yeah, he would be good too.
All right, but for my actor for Yeoman, I want the guy where I think he's able to act enough where character can come off like kind of conniving, also thinking smart, and everything, especially in his role in like the most recent James Bond movie as the villain. So I went with Rami Malek.
I like that one too. Man, we've got some handsome yeomans.
Oh, and speaking of Rami Malek, I'm really looking for. He has a like action movie coming out. I think next month that I might go see in the theater.
Yeah, I like it. It looks good.
The one where he's playing like a nerdy tech guy getting revenge. That one.
Yeah, that one. This isn't a sponsored video, but I'm excited for that movie too.
Now, remind me so I can imagine the conversation. Who did you guys have as your Elend again?
I had Timothy Chalamet as my Elend.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. Wow.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna die.
Justin, who was your Elend?
What's his name? It was Jughead's actor. How'd I forget his name?
Whose actor?
Jughead from Riverdale.
Oh, okay. Yep. Was that
Cole
that one's Cole?
Cole Sprouse. Yeah. Yep, Cole Sprouse. That was it. I wanted my yeoman to be a little more manly than my Elend. And who is yours, Sheta? Oh, wait, who is yours,
mine.
Joe, I mean?
Mine was Michael Cera.
That's going to be an awesome scene.
What the heck?
No, I can totally see it. I can totally see it.
Because he had to be a little... I had to make him a little bit more kind of like dorky in the first one, and then...
Sheta, just
Michael
imagine
Cera,
how much you'd like the cleanup part in the second movie. Yeah, you could totally do it.
For Michael Cera?
Mm-hmm.
I love all the Ellens that are casted.
Yeah.
These are great. In fact, I want to just have all three of the Ellens. And the Yeomans, apparently. Like, this movie's too hot. I can't handle this.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Next. You guys probably didn't cast this, but we're going to go to the other city. Which one? The one that Spook's in?
Berto?
Berto, yeah. Hold on a second.
Wait, did you cast the guy Justin I told you not to cast?
Well, it's Dern. Did you guys cast Dern?
Dern? Who the fuck is Dern?
Dern's the one that's
Spook's guide in the movie.
No, I didn't. I didn't cast Dern. No.
All right. Well, I'll just do my Dern quick. I casted a actor who's charismatic because he also leads that thing, but anyway, I'm gonna cast Danny DeVito as Dern.
Sheta, I will second that casting so hard. That is terrific.
Yeah, he knows things. He acts like he'd be so great. He'd be like know-how, be like all kind of wise, but also,
could not agree more, Sheta.
They're pretty cute, right?
Never would have guessed that one. Never thought of that.
Wait. Nick must be watching us doing this because he just put a heart emoji on the Danny DeVito picture. So, I don't know if he knows what we're casting.
Somebody just got Danny DeVito popping up and hearted it with no context of what it is.
Yes.
Well, it's Nick, so he knows what this channel's for.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, I guess for a character everyone else did cast, I'll cast Quellian. I picked a character or an actor who has a lot of charisma and able to lead. Michael Fassbender, who plays Magneto. He would look like someone you'd want to follow after Kelsier's death. Like, you'd trust him. You'd want someone to replace him, and I think he could do that. And he's got this, like, maybe his heart's in the right place, but maybe he's just in it for himself kind of thing that Magneto does. So.
Mm-hmm. My Quellian, I wanted somebody who is very captivating and charismatic, who can alternate between, like, a man of the people and an absolute creep at the same time, and he did already kind of play a similar role. I went with Evan Peters.
Oh, that's good. Dang.
So you picked Sheta's Quellian's son.
Yes, quite a coincidence there, but yes.
Whoa.
But mine was more of his American Horror Story work than his X-Men work is a strong word for some of that, but yeah.
Well, mine, I wanted somebody that could pull off a little bit of that creepy style. So I went with Evan Peters.
What?
Whoa!
What the fuck? Why in God's name would we be in the same place for that one?
Wow.
Jeez.
That's good though. I really like that. It's because you could play a brother too, you know? Like that's
That
really
was
good.
also what I was thinking, and I wanted somebody
Yeah.
who kind of felt a little like an Elland type too, but what the fuck, Joe?
It's
That's
just like
good.
last book, we both picked Sydney Sweeney for Allrianne.
That's different though. That's less
She's
random than
trending.
this
Like
one.
this is
Yeah,
like
she's popular at the time. Oh man.
I didn't even know you knew who Evan Peters was, Joe.
How would I not know who Evan Peters is?
Yeah, he's an X-Men.
Yeah, but
And WandaVision.
that doesn't really showcase his creepy abilities like American Horror does in his
Sheta,
range.
his face showcases that.
Oh, I love Evan Peters. He's one of my favorite actors, so I'm really happy he gets to be on here. All right. Next, I'm casting my. Oh, no, I didn't get a picture of her. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
Which character?
Beldre.
Ah. Yeah, I had to hold in a laugh so much when Justin put in the picture. He's describing it. It's like, that kind of sounds like my actor. And then the picture pops up of Evan Peters.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, and anybody's listening, if you want to follow along, you can look at all the pictures. They'll be posted on our Twitter feed and our Blue Sky feed. So you can follow along with us.
Yeah, it's fun. I want to see our pictures by our old casting too. I would love to put them all together so we can imagine better. Okay, for my
That
Beldre.
sounds like a job for you to do. Just go to the Twitter and go scroll through it.
Aww. Okay, I just picked a nice up and coming kind of actress to play Beldre who has a. I feel like this role would be too small for her. I picked Florence Pugh.
Oh jeez.
Specifically from Little Women, I thought she was really strong but play sensitive too. So she's smarter than she in Little Women. She was playing a character who's smarter than she acts, but has a lot of like feelings and stuff underneath. So I think she would be good. But again, way too small of a role for her.
Shit, I considered that one too. That's
What?
weird. I didn't go that route, but I considered her. Hey, this is the casting I probably feel the least good, least confident about, but I wanted somebody who can play very innocent and very simple, but could also turn out to be badass at the end with her powers. I picked Breck Bassinger, who you won't know, Joe, but she's from Stargirl.
Oh,
But also
that's
somebody
cute.
Spooks. Yeah, and also somebody who feels younger like Spook. That was it, too.
Yeah, she's good, and she'll appeal to she's very emotional. Like she cares a lot about stuff. She'll really
Somebody who
appeal to-
has range, but can play like they don't have range, basically.
All right. And then for mine, with the actress, I think she can kind of play that sort of role and everything, and she could be a little bit stronger if she wants, or a little bit weaker. Haley Steinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she voices like Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse stuff. She was the main character in Bumblebee. She's Kate Bishop in the new Marvel stuff.
I did not know she voiced Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, me neither.
That's pretty cool. I had no
I
idea.
can totally see it now.
Yeah, I can now. It's obvious
Hear it
now. So we picked 3 superheroes to play.
Yeah.
To play freaking Beldre of all people.
To play Beldre.
Jesus.
Well,
Overcasted.
Again, mine we could probably afford. No offense to the actress.
Mine, I was more thinking of her look and style in Bumblebee than in Marvel.
Mm-hmm. No, I see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not Kate Bishop hopping in. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, Black Widow, just go in and spy on them.
Well,
I've seen-
you specified it was the Little Women version.
Yeah, I had the picture and everything.
It's not the Dune version.
Okay, now we'll go over to we'll go back to Fadrix with Vin stuck in the cave with Reen, her brother. Okay, for Reen, I casted someone who I thought would have that kind of seduction and darkness to him, but charisma and like I don't know, maybe a little bit brotherly. I'm casting Remy Malik for Myrene.
What is that picture?
Oh, that's a Photoshop picture of him in a Slytherin costume. So
Why is it a Photoshop picture?
because I thought that would be a good. He looks like a good Reen there. Reen would totally be a Slytherin.
Yeah, but I think shirt, tie, and like a vest is a little too dressed up for Reen. He looks like a nobleman there.
Maybe this is Ruin Reen, though.
My Reen, I casted somebody who I feel like either Sheta said before should play Reen, or maybe I casted him in a different role and forgot. But I want somebody who can be likable, but also creepy, who I believe would have raised her in that horrible way. And so I picked Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I did cast him as Reen.
I feel like I've heard that before, but it was just stuck in my head as who should be Reen. Somebody a little creepy, but a little likable.
That's so good. I want to change my
I cast him in something.
Yeah, is that it? As long as he's not in my casting, then he's allowed in to play Reen.
Oh, yep. He was my Jasties.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, right. Both you had Jenna Ortega as your Vin, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's Jenna Ortega's brother.
Yeah, I feel like Remy Malik would be a good Jenna Ortega brother.
Yeah, they got similar facial structures.
All right.
Cute! I love it so much.
Mine, it was more just the look. You know, acting, you could probably pull it off. Reen's not really a big thing. It's mostly just talking. But I just feel like the look, I went with Dave Franco.
Yeah, I can see it.
I would obey everything that he said to me if he was like... His voice is so gentle, I would just be like, okay, I'll listen to him.
But then, it does make it a little bit weird since I had James Franco as Kelsier. So Vin's father figure looks like her brother.
What the fuck?
Interesting. That's weird. That's kind of messed up. This is an attractive cast thing called.
So far, yeah.
Yeah,
got a lot of Sheta's favorites.
It's called Hollywood.
No, not everyone looks like this. This is the cream of the crop.
These are all specifically Sheta's types, yeah. Creepy ass, big eyed, nightmare, like creepy, like borderline serial killer types all the way through. And then a few girls to interrupt it to piss shit off.
I mean, all you have to do is like just look at the show Game of Thrones. Compare the book descriptions of the characters to how they look in the show. Like, Brienne of Tarth goes from looking like a horribly ugly person to, she's actually pretty good looking.
Alright. So this is not correct because he's supposed to have red hair, but I'm going to cast Ruin next. I want to pick someone who has such an air of authority, but also just a ton of charisma, and I think would do a great job being fatherly and also dangerous. I don't know. I'm casting Christoph Waltz as my Ruin.
Yeah, he can always have red hair in a movie. It's not that hard for someone to wear a wig or dye their hair.
I don't think he'll look good as a redhead.
And to be fair, the only time you see him as red hair is when he's dead.
The
rest of it's just his voice.
Yeah, I just think he has a lot of... I would love to hear him monologue for hours, so I think that's really good.
For my Rune, I casted solely on the voice. I just want somebody who has an intense, scary, and dominating voice. The body at the end can be played by somebody else. But I went with Clancy Brown.
That's good. That's scary, though.
Not doing a Mr. Krabs voice, his normal voice.
Now, girl, you gotta do this thing. That's terrible, Mr. Krabs.
That was awful.
I was trying to think of a line he'd say to Vin, but then I got my wires crossed. Okay. Yeah, edit that out, Joe. It's good.
No, that's staying. Alright. Now with mine, same thing as Justin, I was more going for the voice, and I think the book said like gravelly voice or like deep voice or something. So, the person I went with is
Mickey Rourke.
Wow.
I just feel like his voice with just like a cloud and stuff would be pretty intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Next, we're going to cast Gorodel. Did you guys cast
No, I didn't
Gorodel?
cast
No,
Gorodel.
no, I did not
But he has
cast
a major
Gorodel either.
scene. All right. For my Gorodel, I wanted someone who would be loyal and kind and a little bit chip on his shoulder. I casted David Wyndham, who plays Faramir. I always imagined him as Gorodel when I was reading, so I thought he would just be someone that's always there and you can rely on him, kind of. So that's what I picked.
I don't know. Gorodel will be, and introducing the actor who plays Gorodel. That'll be mine. It'll be his first role. He's not very well known. He'll probably be an extra who we promote. That's my Gorodel.
Ask me more than extra because he has like a speaking role in each book.
Yeah, we promote him because we're like, oh, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, I could see Faramir, but I remember I saw him. Was he in Arrow or something? I remember seeing him in something else, but I don't remember what.
He is in Van Helsing. If you watch that.
Oh, yeah,
recently.
he is. Yeah.
That was something later, like a season of like Arrow or something where he was on there.
I don't remember.
I could be very wrong. Could have been some other actor for all I know.
Hello, this is post-production Joe, and I just want to add in that I realized what I was thinking of. He was in the show Iron Fist. That's the comic book show I was thinking of. So, there you go, for all you people that may have been wondering the same thing. He was in Iron Fist.
Alright. Well, you guys didn't cast him?
No.
I do not have a Gorodel, I'm sorry. And I wouldn't even know where to start. He does so little.
Okay. Next, I'm casting Milan. And
I also did not cast Milan.
Oh, really?
I did not.
No.
I didn't cast her either.
Okay.
I don't have enough to work with. She can be played by just some voice actor.
Yeah, that's true. I just picked Storsey Ronan, who was in Ladybird and Little Women as well. I just thought she would be a good young person, but also like charismatic and memorable.
I like how the photo you used for her is just a movie poster.
I couldn't find a good one. Okay, wait, let me show this picture of him, of her in Etland.
Oh, God.
Even though I don't think they'll ever meet. Well, they won't meet, but... Last to cast is Kampar. So, for my Kampar, I picked someone who has a lot of authority, can be kind of an asshole, but... And like someone who's really difficult to get past. John Noble, who plays
Oh, no.
Denethor or Walter
That's
Bishop.
an epic Conpar. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. You'd be like, whoa.
I never... he has the authority. I didn't think of him that way.
Wait, didn't you cast him as King Iodin in Elantris?
Probably, yeah. I think so. I casted him before, too.
Yeah, because I think he was Iodin and his wife was Christina Hendricks.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Good.
Him here as Kampar. He has the voice to be scary.
He could have played Ruin. I almost wish I picked him.
But he also, with Kampar, is able, I think, would be able to play the weak, like, pathetic part, too.
Yeah, he can do anything. He is great.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
great.
Well, I got another good actor for my Conpar, though a lot less epic. I imagine mine is somebody who can play a little more like a whiny guy who's, trying to cling on to power and force the rules, can play scared and all that stuff. So I picked Corey Stoll, who you'd probably know from Ant-Man and from House of Cards. More the House of Cards side than the Ant-Man side, but with a little bit of that, too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And somebody who's going to fade into the background a little more than your guy. Yours is really cool, though. I didn't imagine him that way.
Yeah. And then mine, I want a guy where he can kind of look intimidating and stuff, but also kind of act or talk meekly if he needs to. So I went with Michael Shannon.
Oh, jeez, you guys are going epic.
These are the Kandra, the seconds. They have been here for so long.
I guess I imagine this character a lot than you two.
No, they're a big deal.
Yours have a lot of intensity. Yeah.
Well, I just Michael Shannon just talking during the trial and stuff, being like, "No, Tensoon, you're wrong." And I just feel like,
yeah, that's good.
That'd be epic, yeah.
But then all his bones get broken. He's just like, "No."
Sorry.
You got like 3 of the best underrated actors for Kanpar here, in my opinion.
Kanpar.
And we don't have to worry about budgets with our castings.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but none of these guys are that expensive, I'd imagine.
I mean, they're not doing anything these days.
I feel like looking through, I skimped on the budget a lot more than you guys did.
Yeah, we're doing. You're just doing like real life. You're like,
I do take that into account a little. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though. You want to think about the realisticness of getting, this cast together. Like,
Sheta, John Noble voiced a villain in Legends of Tomorrow. I don't think you'll have trouble getting him.
I'm talking about like, the
that
other
was just
actors,
a voiceover role.
Yeah. And this could be too.
Yeah, he could be. They're probably going to be CGI'd. The Kandra.
No, mine will be practical effects for sure. I don't allow CGI in my movie unless we have to use it.
They're globs with see-through, and you can see the bones. How are you going to do that?
If they did it in the thing, we can do it in here.
I was just going to say, yeah. That's easy to animate. You just get some slime and you just wave it around.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll be easy, but I think it is possible.
Because it's still supposed to look like a human body. It's like a see-through human body that walks and talks.
I'm going to let effects guys figure that out. I just don't want some shitty CGI blob walking in when you finally get to the Contra City and it just looks fake as crap.
Oh man, this makes me think of the deleted alternate ending for the first Blade movie where he like cuts the guy becomes like this big blob sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Oh god.
Alright. Yep, so that's all our fan casting. So if people agree, disagree, or if you have your own, feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
All right. And now, before we do our finish off Mistborn and go on to Warbreaker, just want to go over just a couple comments that we've had. First will be from our Hero of Ages, chapters 66 through 75, from Ald Chad. Regarding the descent into madness, I was referring to Sheta's increasingly crazy ships and theories. But you do have a point. It could also be applied to Justin's paranoia.
Oh, God.
Yes. This one really did a number on us.
Both of us?
Yeah.
And maybe listening to this episode, you have more fuel to the fire for the crazy ships. Not just for Sheta, but some of mine that I threw in there too.
Yeah, I didn't know that, Joe.
You know how fucked up it is to learn I'm the normal one here? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Hey, you put Alrian and Breeze pretty high on your list, so
that's canon. That happened.
all of these are canon. They have relationships.
Oh god,
no.
We're done with the shipping. We're done with that nightmare.
Yep. So now we'll go over to the to Reader Warrior's comment on that same episode. All right. So this time he went and he edited it into. He put them by chapters as he went through. So, we'll go. Chapter 66. It's also a great idea for the Kandra to have their homeland at the pits, as the people who died there would be an excellent supply of bones.
Oh no, that's true. Jesus, that's fucked up, man.
Do they would do that?
Why not?
Instead of digging for atium, they just dig for bones? Spare bones? Big.
Also, I think it's beautiful that the last vestiges of the Terrace race found a new home above the remnants of their religion.
Wow, very poetic.
Alright, chapter 67. It's strange that if any mental push-pull could have taken control of Koloss in current days, that Breeze wasn't able to during the siege. I think at one point he even tries to. Maybe he secretly hated clubs and actually killed him by controlling the Koloss.
No,
and that's why he was
God,
so distraught at first.
No, God, no.
Not just themes, but character. Remember Vin from Book 1? The beaten, near-broken girl who couldn't trust anyone? Now look at her in that scene. having to put all her trust in one last trick, one last scam to save everything. Back then she did it for herself. Now she is doing so to put herself in harm's way, both in an attempt to activate her mist powers, but also to draw Ruin and some of his forces away from those she cares about. 3 years ago, Vin would never do this, but now, she's more.
I don't know that Vin would sacrifice herself to save all of mankind back in the day, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she kept thinking of running away, you know. Her own survival was very important to her.
Yeah, that's true.
Chapter 68. We've known the Lord Ruler was a jerk from Chapter 1. Please emphasize, this was in all caps.
I don't know.
Even before he decided to commit magical lobotomization on all his brothers and siblings, he was a racist piece of Kremlin that was more than happy to kill the current leader of the world. No, it wasn't just Sheta apologizing for Rashik. They both did.
Hey, all I'm saying is, I wasn't there. I can't judge.
Yeah. You know, everyone might make mistakes like that.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes. 1 or 2 mistakes. You can't judge somebody based on that. I judge someone by their best action, not their worst. That's what I'll say about the Lord.
I literally almost fell off my treadmill at 10 miles per hour and felt my body seize up in pain at Sheta's Kanpar pun.
Oh god, no.
Kanpar. Oh man, yeah, it was so emphasized. It's perfect. It was too perfect.
Chapter 69. R.I.P. Goradel. We will remember you. Except Justin.
Yeah. I've earned that.
God, yes.
Chapter 70. Have you told him about Kelsier's teacher yet, Joe? And I'm going to assume about the fact that he was talking to Ruin in the short story, and yeah, I brought that up last week.
Oh yeah. See, that character too was in the back of my mind.
Yeah, but that was written after. So that would be a different situation, yeah.
Okay.
And he's
or at least published.
probably... And with what was written, with how... If you go back and read the way he's talking, it's kind of implied that he most likely, as like a last test for Kelsier, fought him to the death and forced Kelsier to kill him.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
He also talks about how his other students, like, they were weak or they died and stuff, so it's never directly stated, but it kind of comes across as he would try to kill Kelsier and force Kelsier to kill him.
But I thought he was Hoyd.
What? That was your theory?
Yeah, I thought his teacher was Hoyd.
No, I never had that theory.
Oh, I just thought that was a known fact.
What?
Then
based on what?
Then why didn't Kelsier recognize him when he met Hoyd?
I thought he did. I thought they met up and had a nice chat.
You got a whole story of your own going that I know nothing about,
I thought they were
Sheta.
just I thought they were putting on airs a bit and acting like they didn't know each other that well, but they
What
did.
in the hell?
You know, like one of those relationships where they don't really tell each other their feelings or hug. They just kind of be very cold to each other. Wow. Well,
I'll just tell you right now, his teacher was not Hoyd.
Okay.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He was a completely different character.
Must be. Wow.
Alright. Chapter 71. One of the things I really liked about Sazed finding the true religion is that it's not perfect. No religion answers every question. No religion can have proof of reality. That's not faith. It's ironic that the one thing Sazed still has faith in is Finn and the crew. And nobody ever stopped to wonder what Kandra do with their payment.
No, I just figured they put it in a bank, which was kind of true.
I thought they bought their equipment, like their what is it? Their powers or something.
Alright. 72. It would suck to be a duralumin or aluminum misting.
No, you're going to be able to put yourself in less life-threatening situations.
Well, if you're pretty much your only job at that point is to be used in hemalurgy to give someone else durality.
You know, that is true. I forgot about that part. So no, that would fucking suck.
Not aluminum, though, because I don't think there's really no point to do that with aluminum. Can we take a moment to appreciate the aesthetics of this boss fight? First of all, it's raining, which we have never seen on Scadrial. And Joe saying, I think that might be wrong, because I kind of remember it raining when Vin and Kelsier fought those Steel Inquisitors in the first book.
That I wouldn't know.
At the palace, right?
Yeah,
Or
I think
at the keep, yeah.
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty much remember it raining there. And then I know for a fact it did snow in the second book. But back to this, imagine the lightning and thunder as Vin, the rain making her mist cloak and her hair flat, sees an Inquisitor. Then another and another. 12 of them. More than anyone had ever been able to kill. Then Marsh, with a freaking upgrade of spikes in his chest. This book is so freaking good, and that's before the real enemy joins the fight.
Mhm.
And the big reveal, the earring. Fudge, yes. This earring reveal is why I love Sanderson. Because anything can be important, even the most insignificant of metal splinters.
Yeah, I like the way the earring was used at the end. I enjoyed that.
Also, in book 1, Vin doesn't start wearing the earring. She puts it in when she decides to run away, and pretty much right away, Reen's voice speaks in her mind. It doesn't start until after she becomes
Oh
Spike.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember that now, yeah.
Mm.
And one thing I like, going back to that scene, is it's not just, oh, I pick up this earring I got from my mother and put it in my ear. She picks up like 3 things, like that. She picks up some rocks she had gotten from like her brother and stuff. So it's 3 things. Only one of them was important. The other 2 are just kind of hide how important the earring is.
Hey, we don't know. Maybe that rock will come back around.
Kelsier definitely knew more than a few people who were spiked. 73. Take a moment to appreciate that Ruin, upon seeing Vin begin to ascend, could only think to summon his entire army, all of his Koloths, to try and kill her before she could stop him. She is the danger. Preservation chose his champion well. This whole chapter, I have no words to describe its beauty correctly. It's perfect, epic, majestic, righteous. It's Vin, Mistborn at the height of her power. And then she's gone, like mist on a hot day.
Sad.
75. Or the compulsion to find the cache of ATM in a world that cannot use it anymore. Also, Justin is right. The first generation do have a name for preservation. Tear, I believe. Which means terrorist is probably translated to people who preserve.
Oh, that's
amazing.
interesting.
It's amazing that even though Rashik tried to beat that out of them, the terrorist people still did what they could to preserve the old world, even when they couldn't even remember why.
Oh, yeah.
Konpar is Sentinel Prime. It's not that he wants to survive, it's that he wants to keep the power he has slowly accumulated. One could say he's quite conservative, unwilling to let go and wants to force his ideology and desires onto everyone else, aka the younger generations.
I think you're giving Compar too much credit here. I don't think he's that epic in casting, but apparently you two would disagree with me based on your casting, so...
It pained me to have to say the word Sentinel Prime, because God, I hate those Michael Bay Transformers movies. And that was
yeah, but wasn't he in
nope.
Wasn't he in Transformers 1 too? I didn't say first appearance, but wasn't that what they called the guy in charge, Sheta? I can't remember.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
No, he was not in the TV show.
No, I didn't say the TV show.
Oh,
yeah,
the new movie might have been.
Yeah, that's our hero, isn't it?
The guy in charge. I can't remember though.
I haven't watched it. I just know he first appeared in Dark in the Moon, and they used him in other stuff after that movie.
No, Sentinel Prime's in the original. I'm reading it right now. Sentinel Major inherited the Matrix of Leadership and became Sentinel Prime, leader of the Autobots. Yeah, in the flashback one.
His name was never used in there. It was just a character. I looked this up.
I'm just reading on the wiki. Yep, was never named in fiction. You're correct. Yep.
Because I had to look that up when I read this, because I had to know if I stated this, if I would be wrong or right.
I figured you looked it up. But
the All-Star Almanac Volume 2, released in 2010, was the first time that was written. So, yep, okay.
But
that's hilarious.
What was it? It's Sentinel Prime? Is that what you're saying? Is that the name?
Wasn't the leader in the show, like, Try something?
Ultra Trion or something? That sounds...
Alpha
something
Trion.
like that. Alpha Trion? Was that it?
Alpha Trion.
Yep. That sounds right, yeah. Man, It's been so long since I watched the original cartoon. Like, I watched that in, like, 2009.
And yeah, Joe, they did reuse the name in Transformers 1, and he was a lot awesomer in there.
Yeah. You should give that a watch, Joe. I highly recommend.
Right.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
No, you'll like it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't know Joe's sensibilities on that kind of thing.
Is it good or is it fucking stupid? That's about the answer there.
Okay.
Right. There's no point in me commenting on you guys giving your predictions, because by the time you read this, it'll be the episode you finish the main story. So I'd like to be the first, unless Justin beat me to it, to congratulate you both on finishing the Mistborn trilogy. It's my favorite series in the Cosmere so far, and hearing you all react to it and talk about it has been so amazing. I said it before when I was lucky enough to be invited on. By the way, my schedule's empty for quite a good while. Wink, wink. But Justin Sheta, you have no idea what's to come, and I know you'll love every minute of it. Hero of Ages is one of the best, but there are so many more stories that'll make you cry, laugh, gasp, and scream, and too many emotions to list. Keep reading. I can't wait to listen to what's next.
Aw,
On an
thanks.
unrelated note, we are canceling the podcast right now. I'm sorry to say.
This is the last episode.
This is the last episode. We didn't actually finish the book even. We just pretended we did. So, sorry to disappoint.
You both give Character of the Week to Marsh for moving his hand a tiny bit, but Vin crushing an entire castle with her mind isn't even mentioned until Joe gives his.
I'm going to be honest. I think moving the hand a tiny bit may have been even harder. I'm just saying.
Wait, what are we talking about? For the
At the end.
for the earring? Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, you know, that's a little human part in all of us. You know, that has has to use up all our willpower to do. It was like,
Mhm.
The way I'd film Marsh's brief moment of freedom without relying on just flashbacks would be filming an inner Marsh. In the prologue, when we see him first controlled, zoom in through the spikes until we see a Marsh, maybe like he was in the Final Empire, on his knees wrapped in chains. Use that to show him trying to fight, then giving up, only able to wiggle his finger. Then cut to real Marsh doing the same. Later, when Marsh is torturing her, show inner Marsh fighting against the chains, struggling, trying to tear them off. Maybe if his arm breaks free and he reaches up to the visual portal of what he can see, the chains reach up and wrap around his arm, this time going sharp, maybe becoming barbed, pulling Marsh's arm down. He starts to give up. Then he remembers a story about the earring, Gordell's message, and he sees Vin's earring shining from overhead lightning. Marsh struggles again, this time not giving up, with one defiant yell of, "She's her daughter!" He flashes back to Kelsier Mayer, his arm breaks free, and then the real Marsh's arm jumps out, grabs Vin's earring, and pulls it away. That's how you do it. Please, Brandon, hire me to direct the movie. I'll do it so much justice.
I like the being chained in his head thing.
And then the last little section. I love hearing Justin calling BS on my distractionary theories. And I hope you don't mind how long my comments are. I promise they'll get shorter at some point, especially when you start a new book. Yep.
Hey, we're going to be counting the letters, so we're going to hold you to that.
All right. Now, what we're going to do is, instead of doing the covers in this episode, we're going to do like a little mini episode upcoming, and that we'll have just going over the covers in that one. And also, from what people might have noticed, you know, because there was like a week here where I had to put out a bonus episode week there where we didn't have an episode, because just a little behind the curtain thing, when we started the podcast, we had a big buffer. That buffer has pretty much shrunk up. So the next couple weeks, we're going to have our normal. Next week, we're not going to have anything come out, our new normal like break week. And then the next 2 weeks, just to kind of get our buffer back a little bit, I'm going to put out 2 of those bonus episodes in the meantime. So you'll still get stuff, but we won't actually be starting the next book, Warbreaker, on the podcast for a couple weeks. And the bonus episodes, they're both going to be for Well of Ascension. Because when we made it, that Well of Ascension episode wound up being much longer than I expected. And I didn't really want to have like a 3-hour long just going over 1-star reviews. I felt like that'd be too much to listen to in one go.
That would hurt my fucking soul to listen to.
So I split it up into 2 episodes. So I'll release half of it, first one 1 week, second one the next week. Because if you want to go behind the curtain, how we record those is after we record a normal episode, we then do a second recording where we just do a couple of those 1-star reviews. And then after going through my entire list, I edit it all into one episode. So that's also why I don't really consider them separate episodes, because they're not separate recordings.
They are arduous, so enjoy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll still tell you for covers, I'll probably release that like in the middle of a week, 1 week or something like that, because it's going to be shorter, and that way that's not all you get in a week. But yeah, what you'd be looking at is when we do start when we do start Warbreaker, I'll just tell you the chapters right now. Because we will be starting off with the prologue through chapter 4 of that book. So if anybody out there wants to start reading it, you can. If you want to wait to read those until after we do our covers, you can do that too. But as I said, no episode next week. Next 2 weeks will be the Well of Ascension 1-star reviews. And then we'll do the Warbreaker covers and Warbreaker all starting after that. So yeah, and if you want to get into plugs, Justin and Sheta will be welcome to tell you about our plugs right now.
All right. If you want to follow me, my art page on Instagram is at Sheta_low, where I do arts and crafts, and I have a different Instagram for my fashion and cosplays. That one is going to be at Mermaid Machete. And I will be posting my cosplay for this weekend's convention there. So go check it out if this comes out before that.
It's not. You mean after?
Oh yeah, it will be there now. So future me will post it. She better post it.
You can follow me at that place that you have heard to follow me every single time while listening to this book. If you have not remembered that by now, you are not a true Justin fan, and I disown you.
Anti-plug.
All right, and then for Cosmic Chronicles, you can send us anything in an email to cosmicchronicles@gmail.com. You know, where you're listening to this, if you're able to leave a rating or a thumbs up or a review, go ahead and do that. If you want to follow us on Kia Most Ancient Letter, formerly known as Twitter, at Cosmicron, CosmereChron, or on Blue Sky, Cosmic Chronicles. You can go on there and you'll get to see the fan castings and stuff on there.
Ooh, yeah, check those out. It's fun.
Or you can also see the notes that Sheta talked about like 2 episodes ago.
Oh yeah, if you want to see my chicken scratching crazy notes, that's also on there.
Yep. So there's all that. And, yep, as I said, in a few weeks, you'll have Warbreaker, chapters prologue to 4. Before that, Well of Ascension 1-star reviews. So, yep, everyone go out there, have fun, and eat some delicious, delicious White Castle.
Good luck on getting delicious White Castle and not some horrible shit that's been sitting there forever. Goodbye.
Bye.